Hi, my name is Moa Persdotter and I am the Managing Director at Venture Lab by Lund University. Each semester we arrange an event called Believe in Your Ideas. It's a bootcamp where we try to inspire female students to believe in themselves and to enter the startup scene. You will now listen to a webinar with Natasha Wrang from Jämställd, utveckling Skåne talking about how to build a gender-equal startup.
So my name is Natasha Wrang. I'm project manager at Jämställd, utveckling Skåne. We are an NGO with member organizations around in Skåne, and we work with gender equality and regional growth and development. Today I will focus a little bit about gender equality and entrepreneurship in Sweden, how it looks today. But also I will share experiences of women who are entrepreneurs in Skåne. So Sweden has ranked the #1 many years in a row as on the EU Gender Equality Index. So it means that in Sweden we have a lot of formal gender equality rights. However, informal gender inequality still exists. Women have been allowed to vote in Sweden since 1921. Women are equally engaged in politics as men, but however, the power positions in Sweden are still held by men, as you can see here by the chart of the Swedish Prime Minister since 1932. And if we look at the informal gender equality, you can also see that it still exists within entrepreneurship in Sweden. And the research suggests that entrepreneurship is characterized as a masculine domain. Financiers evaluate men entrepreneurs more favorably than women entrepreneurs. Women-owned ventures are perceived to be less legitimate and riskier investments than those owned by men. Financiers' gender perceptions stem from the fact that many high-profile entrepreneurs' role models are men. And financiers believe that men are more entrepreneurial and growth-oriented than men. And this notion is noted also by the Swedish Agency for Economic and Regional Growth. Because they can see that growth will is highest among people under 30 years old with foreign background, and girls are peaking in Sweden. However, the funds go to some other people, so something is not right here. And if we look at the numbers, we can see that for example, in Skåne, the purple circles represent Skåne. 40% of business executives in Skåne are women. 31.9% of entrepreneurs in Skåne are women. But women entrepreneurs only receive about 17% of Region Skåne business checks that they deliver. And this was between 2015 and 2017. And if we look nationally, then we have the green numbers. The 30th list, which annually selects the most innovative companies in Sweden, show that the percentage of women in startup world is only 7%. And the statistics nationally, it's also around a third of the companies in Sweden are owned by women, but women-owned companies only receive about 13 to 18% of government funding. And in the tech sector, 0.7% of venture capital went to tech companies with only women as founders. This means that women are less likely to run businesses than men, but they also receive less funds to start and to have businesses. And if you look even beyond women and men and start looking at whether they're foreign born or not, or the age, it's even more different and segregated. And foreign-born people have experiences that they have more difficulty receiving funds to start the enterprises than men and non-foreign women. So we conducted an interview study with 11 women that are entrepreneurs in Skåne, and many of them have experienced that their gender identity, age, or whether they're foreign-born or not, was affected how they were treated when they met authorities, business supports, undertakings, and other networks. So here is an example. Leslie, that we interviewed, she has a social company called My Esteem, working with dolls as tools. She said, I'm a woman with foreign background working with social entrepreneurship. Could it be any more challenging than that? But that she meant that she has been had like an entrepreneurial interest for a long time. When Leslie came to Sweden, she went to the employment agency to look for jobs, and they suggested that she should apply to kindergarten jobs, even though she has a master's degree in marketing and communication from Mexico. And there and then she thought, okay, maybe this is my only chance because I am foreign-born and new to Sweden. But then this shows that we have a very narrow view of who is an entrepreneur and what people can do. So one of the themes that we thought that we found in the study is who is the entrepreneur and what is innovation. And there was a general consensus among our interviewees that the image of an entrepreneur as a man. And also if we look at statistics today, the average entrepreneur in Sweden is a white male. He's 30 plus years. He's named Anders or Johan. And he drives a car to work and is less likely to take out the parental leave than their women partners. And the man as norm have our interviewees have experienced that, and they experienced that. For example, Nina, she's been running restaurants for many years, but she still receives phone calls to her job where people ask for him, the boss. And she also struggles with a view of herself as an entrepreneur. How should I be as an entrepreneur? Should I be more manly? Should I be more masculine and be tougher than I am? But then on the other hand, I will risk of being seen as bitchy or aggressive because I am a woman. So there's some level of double punishment there that some experience. And then we have Sandra. She runs a business within personal health. And she says that she experiences the startup world to be shaped by men and typically male-coded areas such as tech, medicine, and patented products. So here's a quote by Sandra. My frustration was not really that they would not invest in our idea, but rather their attitude about these issues and our service that was not unique enough to them. I would have been very happy if our competitors have received funds. It would have been great. I just thought they needed to focus on these issues first and foremost. Does this create a greater value to our society? It also says a lot of where they put their money bags. Is it about sustainability? Is it about gender equality? All these important questions she thought she was missing. So another theme that we found out was financing and support. The interviewees had mixed experiences, but they were generally also quite happy with the support that they got from incubators and accelerators in Skåne. However, certain situations they found were that they were directly disadvantaged because they were women. Both Sandra and Leslie that we have brought up here so far, they felt that they were experienced this discriminatory experience at pitch events. Leslie, she said that during a pitch event, she did not get one single question, which is also a common master suppression technique. Sandra said, on the other hand, that she, as one of two girls at a pitching event, on the contrary, got a lot more questions than the other male participants. So many researchers have explored the entrepreneurial finance distribution processes in Sweden, including the effects of gender inequality in these processes. And the vast majorities of these studies focusing on gender equality show that women entrepreneurs struggle to obtain equal access to finance compared to male counterparts. And a study by Luleå University show that there are 4 typical stereotypes about women entrepreneurs among Swedish government venture capitalists. They are: women are cautious and risk-averse, whereas men are ambitious and risk-taking. Women are reluctant to grow their businesses, whereas men are willing to grow businesses. Women do not have resources to engage in high growth, whereas men do. And women ventures underperform, whereas men's ventures perform well. The good news is they tested all these notions, the study, and they said our statistical testing of the substance and relevance of this stereotypical gender notion show there's no significant differences between men's and women's venturing outcomes when venture performance facts are compared. And if we have a look at another study that was made in the US, that was conducted by Boston Consulting Group and Mass Challenge, which is a US-based accelerator, they found actually that the women-owned startups were a better bet. So they analyzed 350 companies, and the startups that were founded or co-founded by women, they garnered less investments, but they generated more revenue. And then a third category that was identified by our interviewees is the struggle with the life-work balance. In Sweden, women take out 73% of parental days, whereas men take out 27% of parental days. And with sick leave, it's 64% women and men 36%. So the life puzzle and unpaid home labor. On the other hand, some participants said starting a company could make it easier for a life puzzle, whereas others said they don't have time to invest in their companies because they have to handle all the unpaid home labor. And research finds actually that one of the reasons that women start fewer businesses than men is because they take more parental leave and more responsibility at home. And then the fourth category was it's about networks and mentors. And networks, specifically when networks for women, the participants felt a little different about this. Some of them find that networks for women is good because they can together identify challenges of being women. Others, on the other hand, find that some networks for women were unprofessional and just gossiping and not helping them to develop their business. However, when they find networks that are relevant to their businesses and their ideas, then they find a lot of support in networks. And early support was important, as many identified, especially social resources, for example, exchanging experiences, inspiration, and other type of supports. And many of participants highly recommend mentorship and finding a mentor who they can have extra support from, and someone with more experiences within their field. And several interviewees testify that mentors have been actually crucial for their career choices, which means there's also a need for more diverse role models that people can relate to. So, in conclusion, gender equal startups is a matter of justice, but it's also increased diversity, innovation, competences, and productivity to our society. There's need to be more support to women, non-binary, and foreign-born during the startup process and the early business stage. And customized training events for businesses, business support, incubators, and conducting, for example, gender analysis during pitching events could be helpful to change attitudes and knowledge about women entrepreneurs.
Thank you for watching this webinar. I hope that you got some new insights and that you got inspired. If you want to know more about our events, follow us on social media. And if you have anything that you would like to ask about Believe in Your Ideas, don't hesitate to contact us. Looking forward to meet you in the future.